So there are five top things in my mind right now. 5 things that I say that black people in America need to stop thinking and saying in order for us to change our situation, in order for us to change the gap between the wealth between black people and white people, to change the educational situations between the gap between black people and white people, to change the way we interact in our communities, to change the fact that we don't even own our communities, to change all these things. There are 5 things that we got to really get out of our mind, really get out of our mouth, and start to speak and think differently. Now, of course, when I was going over this list, I had 30, 40 things that I had actually wrote down. So out of the 30, 40, I thought, what's impactful for right now in 2019? What's very impactful for right now that can get a good start, that can get our minds right and our words right? And of course, there's more. But I want you guys to write down extra things because I know you got more. And like I said, these are not the super things, but they're important. So what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is your Coach Renz. I want to thank everybody for being here and for listening to this video. Please share this video, subscribe to the page, the channel. If you're just finding me for the first time, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We talk about the 360 degrees of total enlightenment of the heart, the spirit, the mind, the body, the alchemy of life. We also do a show every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Tuesday, 9 o'clock. Join us, The Alchemy of Life, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Blog Talk Radio, The Alchemy of Life. So join us then. And for all my supporters, everybody who subscribed to the YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, I appreciate you guys. Everybody who supports me on as far as Patreon is concerned, I really appreciate you guys for supporting me on Patreon. Please send me your suggestions of subject matters you want to talk about as we discuss the Tao, as we are going through this lesson of the Tao. Send me other subject matters you'd like to see videos about because you guys get first preference. Also, everybody who supports me through my popcorn shop, Uncle Renz Popcorn, in South DeKalb Mall here in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia area. Everybody who orders online at yourpopcorn.com. I really appreciate you guys because that actually helps support the channel as well because it gives me the free time to be able to study and do these videos for you guys. And I really, really, really appreciate that. So you can always go online at yourpopcorn.com and order popcorn from it. That's U, letter R, word popcorn. So, top 5. 5 things that right now we need to stop saying and thinking in order to change our situation. Change the way we're viewed, change the way we view ourselves, change the way we control our economics, change the way we control our family structure and everything else. So these are my top 5 out of 40, 50 things that I wrote down. And I know you might say that, well, this or that is more important. Sure, put that in the comments. Put that in the comments. We can discuss those things as well. But these are 5 things that I thought right now in 2019 we need to grab hold of. And some of these things are old. Some of these things is, you know, you would say, well, you know, we don't really say that no more. We don't really think that. Yes, we do. And it's so deep. It's so deep. Deeper than we actually may think. So let's go ahead and get started because I'm not going to keep this video too long. So number 5, you ain't black if. Or you can say you ain't black unless. This one here, although it may seem simple, it may even seem comical to some people, but the you ain't black unless you like this kind of food. You ain't black unless you like this kind of music, or you can dance, or you can sing. You ain't black if you want to live in this neighborhood or live this kind of lifestyle. You're not black if you don't watch these kind of movies or that sort of thing. To put a status of what blackness is kind of takes away from people having the ability to be individuals, takes away from the diversity of our people. It takes that away because one of the other things that come out, you ain't black unless you believe in this religion. You ain't black unless you believe in that religion. When you see a black man who's Buddhist, you automatically don't make him black no more. You making him something else because he's not in the same cultural mindset. Now, if he's Muslim, you're okay. If he's Christian, you're okay. Even if he's Jewish, you halfway okay. But if he's Hindu, if he's atheist, if he's anything other than whatever it is that most black people will call themselves in America, you separate him or her from the group. and you say that we can't work together, we can't build together, we can't have a business relationship, and what's funny is that I even see it where we black people will say that because a black person doesn't act a certain way, I can't do business with you and I can't be a customer of yours. Really? Really? Like, if you catch me on certain time frames or certain days, I might be rocking out to Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. And here's the thing, I've done it on purpose where I'm driving down the street blasting Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody or Somebody to Love or We Will Rock You, one of those songs. I'm blasting Queen and I'm looking at black people's faces. I'm looking at their faces and they looking at me like I'm something strange, like I don't exist as a black man. Like, and some of you even shake their head to the point where I know they're saying we're gonna take his black card. Really? My choice of music? You see, I grew up I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s, and during that time frame, listening to hair bands and rock bands and all that kind of stuff, and listening to Run DMC and Kool Moe Dee and all them and everybody else, the Pointer Sisters and all that, that was just, we listened to everything. Music was going through a massive fusion during that time frame. So we listened to Duran Duran, we listened to Wham and Cyndi Lauper, but at the same time, we listened to Orange Juice Jones, and we had those other groups like that. We had, you know, Ready for the World. We had, you know, Kwame and the early LL Cool J. We had all that. So it was a massive fusion of music going on. So just because I listen to Queen doesn't take away from me being black. Just because I read Shakespeare doesn't take away from me being black. What makes me black? And as you guys know, race only exists on the matter plane. You know that. I've said that 11 times. But as far as our physical brain, how we think, basing a group of people based on the pigmentation of their skin, how much melanin they have, or what blood or what family they have, that doesn't make me black. My love for the black community, my love for black fathers who are in their children's lives, my love for black mothers who are in their children's lives, my love for black families who are considering everything that happens in and around their children to affect them, my love for creating generational knowledge and generational wealth, that is what makes me sort of black. Because I don't care what your religion is. You can be a Hebrew Israelite, you can be Jewish, you can be Muslim, you can be an atheist, you can be any dogma of philosophy of thought, you can be Stoic, I don't care. But if you want to talk about building a neighborhood and buying the land and building and helping to build countries like Haiti and countries like Botswana and Nigeria and Rwanda, since it came to my brain, you want to talk about building those kind of places, I'm with you. Do I care who you pray to? I don't care. Do I care that if we go into Haiti and we buy the land and then plant alfalfa for 3 years and 3 rotations, let it grow and die and refertilize the land, then start planting trees and planting sugarcane and planting tobacco and start exporting and build an industry based on those things and provide the people with solar power grills so that they won't chop down the trees. If we take the next 50 years to do that in Haiti, do you think I care that if you're saying, oh, thank you, Jesus, or praise be Allah, or anything? I could care less as long as we're doing the work and getting it done. You say your praises and your thank yous over there. I'm going to sit up here and say, hey, I sowed a seed. It grew up into a tree. That's the law of cause and effect. So I'm going to look at it alchemically. I'm going to look at it hermetically. I don't care. And even for those people who say, "Oh, you're hermetics. That's from Hermes Trismegistus. You're talking about, you know, the Greek." Okay, the man had a name in the Greek, and he had the Thoth name, and he had, you know, he had a name in the Egyptian, in Kemetic. He also had an Atlantean name. I could care less. What I care about is the wisdom, the knowledge, and then what we do with it. What are we doing with this knowledge? What are we doing with our money? That's what I care about. Are we building? I don't care what your religious base is. I don't care what kind of music you listen to. I don't care about those things. Those things don't matter. At the end of the day, don't matter. You can listen to opera, but you doing that marketing that's helping to build a new economy based on crops or products that we're producing in another country, in a predominantly black country, that's changing the power, the wealth power in the world. That's what I care about. Listen to your opera. Who cares? Oh, that's you. All right, that's you. That's what you like. It doesn't bother me at all. And we got to let that stop bothering. We can't say that. I don't eat soul food, okay? I grew up in the South. I grew up with a grandma who made soul food. And then I was spoiled, and she made me something different. All right? And everybody in my family will tell you that I was spoiled by my grandmother. That's all right. I don't care. That's my grandma. But I don't eat soul food. I don't care for it. And now being a vegetarian, I really somewhat don't care for it because there are some good vegetables in there, but you got to put meat in every goddamn thing. But I didn't. That ain't got nothing to do with me being black. Nothing at all. At all. That's asinine. So, I mean, because I met black people who grew up in Italy. They eat Italian food. Does the food choice make them black or Italian? Or it just means that that's the culture they grew up in and that's what they like. That's all it really means. That's all it means. So, that's number 5. Took too long on that one, so let's go. Number 4. Black people are crabs in a bucket. Oh my damn. That one gets on my nerves more than anything else. Now, I know some of you are going to say, nah, every time a black person trying to do something, another black person try to pull them down or try to copy them and that sort of thing. Because, you know, when you put crabs in a bucket, if one's trying to escape, another one will pull them down. Right? Now, here's the thing about that. Nobody can pull you down unless you let them. Nobody. Nobody pulled Mike Vick down. Mike Vick allowed himself to be pulled down by the people around him. Ray Lewis allowed people to almost pull him down by the people around him. I don't like that dude, but still. All right. Anytime you see some of these people who are famous get pulled down, usually it's because they let somebody in their entourage pull them down. They don't know how to walk away from people who are not there to be a benefit to them. Everybody can't go with you. I remember some years ago, I was doing a radio show and the guy was telling me that I am... He said that, I forgot exactly what he called me. He called me a derogatory name. But he told me that I was wrong because I'm running across the field, but I'm not willing to help somebody else come across the field. And what I explained to him is that, here's the deal. I am running across the field. Everybody can't run. Some people got to walk. Some people got to crawl. Some people are on their bellies and they crawling, right? I said, I will be of as much assistance to those people as I can without injuring myself. But what I will not do is that if somebody is sitting down, if somebody's got doubt, if somebody is afraid, if somebody don't want to do it, I'm not here to drag them across the field. I'm not dragging nobody across the field. I'm not picking you up on my shoulder and doing fireman carry and dragging you and carrying you across the field. That's not going to happen. And neither should anybody else have the responsibility of carrying somebody who doesn't want to do the work, doesn't want to think outside the box and carry them across the field. That doesn't work. Crabs in a barrel? Nah. Crabs in a bucket? No. Most people read the Abrahamic teachings, and the Abrahamic teaching talk says that for every one step you take towards God, he'll take 2 towards you. Now, here's the thing, because since I consider myself a God, if you take 1 step towards me, I take 2 steps towards you. But if you don't take no steps towards me, no step towards achieving your goals or towards moving forward, I'm not taking any steps towards you. I'm not. You can't force people to do something if they don't want to do it, if they can't see the benefit in it. And I'm not here to force you into anything. I'm like a lot of these other people who are always trying to force things down black people's throat as this is what you got to do, if that's what you got to do. I'm not trying to force you. But the idea that we're crabs in a bucket is the thing of about being jealous, trying to tear them down. Now, we do have some issues in that. And some of the things, the other things we're going to talk about covers those things as well. We do have this issue where we have it in ourselves and our mindset that, let me put it to you a different way. If you went to McDonald's 1 day out of every week, I'm going to estimate that about good 15 times, maybe 20 times, they're going to mess up your order in one way or another. Either they're going to be real slow, they're going to give you some cold fries, your order's going to be wrong, they're going to mess up your money, they're going to do something wrong. They're going to have an 89 score in the window, they're going to do something wrong. Most of y'all don't even look at them scores. But they're going to have something wrong about them. But you'll keep going. Every week, you'll keep going. You'll keep allowing that. You'll keep letting them, you'll keep excusing them. But if a black person has a business, they make one mistake. Oh, that's why I can't shop with a black business. They don't get your order right. See, that's why you can't do business with black people. They don't have great customer service. See, that's what I'm saying. Every time you come here, black people don't know how to give you customer service. Now, I am going to say for black businesses, here's the thing. You do have to do better. You have to run your company like a major corporation. You got to make sure your customer service is on point. You got to make sure your products is on point. You got to have all your packaging. Everything needs to be done at an expert level. Yes, it does. And yes, that company is I forgot who said. I think Kevin told me this the other day or about a week ago. He said that a white person just has to go across the street to get to a point. But for a black person to get to that point, they got to go over 3 mountains. So you do have to do much better, much more. And what's worse is that the much better, much more is for our own people. So yeah, if you want to say that's crabs in a bucket, that we always pulling each other down because we don't give each other the same forgiveness that we give other people. Yeah, I know some people are going to say it comes from a slave mentality of being separated and the house Negro and the field Negro and always backbiting against each other because we're trying to figure out who can get the best piece of the chitlins, you know. But here's the thing. We got to stop thinking that way. We got to start respecting business and saying that, hey, you know what? This black man, this black woman is growing their business. They stepped out there. They're trying to, I almost sneeze. They're trying to, build something here. And instead of saying me being overly critical of it, instead of me saying that, I can't forgive them if they make a mistake, let me be more forgiving. Matter of fact, let me be more forgiving to them making a mistake than somebody else. Let me not come to their business, and because I can talk to the owner, that means I can say what I want to say. It's one thing that's amazing to me. You would never go to McDonald's and start telling them, well, when I go to Burger King, they do the flame grilled on their burger and everything like that. And maybe y'all should do the flame grilled on y'all burgers. But people will come to me because they see me at my shop and be like, well, at the other shop, they make this popcorn and it is like, and it's this and it's that. And I actually had a young girl correct her mother and said, Mom, why are you coming up to somebody else's business and you saying that? He don't want to hear that. Why can't you just come up here and just support his business instead of talking about somebody else's business? But she would never go to Garrett's popcorn and be in Garrett's talking about, well, y'all need to do what Uncle Renz popcorn do. You're not going to hear that. So why can't we need to give each other, our businesses, an equal opportunity to be just as great and to give them the respect that you give other people's business. And that's what we need to do. All right, so we got to stop thinking about degrading our own business and uplift them. And if a business is struggling, then we need to give, hey, I'm gonna keep supporting you, but you got an 89 food score, so we need to raise that. I'm gonna keep supporting you, but my shipment came a little bit late. Man, I know you got a lot going on, trying to, you running everything, but it was a little later than it should have came. I ordered it yesterday. And I didn't get it for 3 weeks, past your timeline. Whatever it is, let's be more helpful and stop being so dang on critical. So there is some of that, and some of that's truth, and we've been cultured into that mindset. But these are things we got to break, so it's not all easy. Number three, they ain't going to let us, ... One of the things that irritates the hell out of me is when I hear people say, well, we can try to buy up the neighborhood, but as soon as they see us buying the neighborhood, they gonna come in, they gonna stop us, they ain't gonna let us, they ain't gonna give us a loan. Okay, if your credit score bad, of course they ain't gonna give you a loan. You need to be doing financial alchemy with me if your credit score bad. But yeah, if you got a bad credit score, you're not getting a loan, right? But if you're not saving your money and building your credit, why would they give you a loan? Who's gonna give you a loan in 5 years if you ain't even taking the time right now to start working on your credit? Nobody's gonna give you a loan, right? Now a black bank ain't, a white bank ain't. Nobody's going to give you a loan until you first prove that you're worthy, you're loan worthy. So when you see them coming in buying a neighborhood and you can't buy it, it's because you don't qualify. So you got to get to the table, right? We got to get to the table, and we're going to cover that a little bit later. But we got to get to the table. So, but when we say they ain't going to let us, I remember growing up, and I know I'm talking real fast because I want to get this done in under 30 minutes. I remember growing up. And I remember hearing older people always talking about something. They ain't gonna never have a black president. They ain't gonna live to see a black president. We ain't gonna never have a black president. They ain't gonna let one of us be in the White House. We take what is my boys, they say, turn the White House black. If you know that song, say it down below. But turn the White House black. All right. I ain't gonna tell you names. It's in my head, but I ain't gonna tell you. So I've heard that through the 70s, through the 80s, through the 90s. Through the 2000s, early 2000s. But then what happened? Barack Obama happened, right? Now, was Barack Obama the first black president racially? No. I know that we like to say that you got one drop of black blood, but that is a big misconception of history, all right? But he's the first president who identified himself as black. He's a biracial. He was the first biracial president because his mama's white, his daddy black. So he's the first biracial president. As far as black mama, black daddy, he black. That ain't him. All right. But he identifies as black. Just like when you get the census next year, you can identify yourself as other. You can identify yourself as Native American. You can identify yourself as anything. If you look at a lot of Hispanics, people in America, they identify themselves as white. If you look at their documentation, and I've seen, when I was in the Marine Corps, I've seen a lot of them, on their ID, it says they're white, not Latino, not Latin, not Spanish, not Mexican, not, I mean, I know some of those are nationalities and ethnic groups and all that kind of stuff, but they identify as white, but not Hispanic or whatever, or not Hispanic, and what's the one that says Hispanic, but not of African origin, right? So, but many identify as white. A lot of Asian identify as white here in America. Y'all didn't know that probably, but a lot of Asians do the same thing, because of benefits that they're looking to gain, a prestige, a point of being. So he identified as a black man, right? So, but people always said, they ain't gonna let us. As long as that mysterious they is always in your mind and you telling yourself that they ain't gonna let us, then of course you're stopping yourself. You're stopping yourself. You're not allowing your own creative energy, your mental thought to become manifested in reality, because you've already put a plug in and said that they ain't gonna let us. So the mysterious they, who don't really exist in the format of, hey, there's Coach Renz, we got to make sure we keep the hammer down on him specifically. Here's the thing. They're not thinking about you individually. Now, are there forces out there that are trying to stop people from doing certain things? Yeah, if what you're doing is going to take their money or their power. I know of a neighborhood here in Atlanta that's being regentrified right now. There's one major white company that's buying up all the land, all the houses. Here's the funny thing about it. Did they do some things to prevent the people who live in the community from buying the houses? Yes. But some of the people who live in that community are white and Spanish and black. They all mixed up. So they stopping everybody. Why? Because they want the entire damn neighborhood. And then another white company tried to come in and buy up the other half of the neighborhood. And they quickly did some maneuvering to buy it all up so that they couldn't. They didn't care that they were white. So I guess that other white company saying that they trying to stop us. Or they just looking at it's competition. We trying to buy up this neighborhood because we trying to make the most money as we possibly can. They don't give a two rat's asses about who's coming in competition with them. They just care about winning. So we have to stop thinking about they and just start thinking about you and start thinking about us and just winning. Just winning. Go out there and win. Yeah, we got to climb 3 mountains over there across the street, but just win. Do what you got to do to win. Stop allowing your mind to create some individual or group or Illuminati, and all that stuff that's stopping you. Get out of all that BS, because you're not even on that level of the playing field yet for where somebody that's a Rothschild will pay attention to you. You're not on the level that some of these Rockefellers will pay attention to you yet. Get to that level and then start talking about the they. Get to the level where if there is an Illuminati that invites you in, get to the level where they invite you first. But you're not even at that level yet. So stop putting so much energy into it. Go buy your own house first. Go start your own business first. Go take over the politicians in your community first. Do that first. Before you start talking about building a nation, build your community first, right? Do that. Now, the only reason I'm talking about all of it at the same time for me, because I am not going to be in this nation that much longer. So, but I need a base. I need a base in America, and then I need to funnel that money into other countries, because my plan is grand, and I need all y'all to be a part of it. So, let me keep going. Number two, and I hate this one, and many people who know me very well, especially my family members, would say that they would have thought this would have been number one. But actually it's number two. It's number two. And that's calling each other a nigger. That shit pisses me off more than anything else. Now, I admit, I grew up in a time frame where, and it's still prevalent, that there was a huge color complex. My middle name is Dwayne. My family and everybody I grew up with called me Wayne. Don't y'all call me that or we gonna fight. But they used to call me Black Wayne. Right? Because there was color complex. Oh, there go Black Wayne. Oh, he handsome to be so dark skinned. Later put up a bag against my face. You can't date my daughter, you too dark. So I grew up with that whole color complex thing. And then all I heard people saying like nigga this and nigga that and nigga. And then it's an inside joke, and if he ever watched this, I want to make sure that he hears, but I know my kids will. But then my former brother-in-law best friend, this joker came out of college talking about some, no. See, Tupac said, nigga mean never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. And I just looked at him like he was stupid. It's a family joke now where we just crack on it. Anytime he say something crazy, like, hey, Russell, you never ignorant, getting goals accomplished, bro. You know, so it's a family joke now. But he understands. He like, man, I was stupid. I was in college, and man, you know, he understands now. But calling each other that bothered the heck out of me, because why are we degrading ourselves? Now, some of you guys are going to say, well, it comes from the term niggas. Okay, I want you to think about that. Niggas is a term of endearment and royalty, of power. Why would the racist oppressors who have your people in slavery ever give you a title of royalty? Do you realize that you're just trying to misappropriate history and a word to make yourself feel better and to be able to justify using that word? It did not come from niggas. Nor did it come from Niger, for the Niger River, or Nigeria. No, it didn't come from there either. It came from the Dutch them using the term negro, meaning black. And from negro, you got negro. And from negro, you got nigger from the Southerners. It came from that. So you can't appropriate something like that. Now, have we done misappropriation of word? Yes. Originally, the word awful meant full of awe. It was a positive thing, that you were filled with the awe of God. You're filled with the awe of the beauty of nature. You're filled with the awe of the sunrise. But then it started being used when to describe a hurricane. It was awe-filled. I mean, the hurricane was awful because you were filled with awe with the power of the hurricane. But then it got so used to being used with tragedies that it became a negative word. Does that kind of stuff happen? Sure. Should it happen with the nigger word? Hell no. Because if a white man called you that, he's been disrespectful and you ready to fight. But if a black person call you that, it's a term of endearment. I don't care for how women call each other bees. That bothers me too. But women do that across the board. But what we talking about is black people in this country. All right. So first we got to stop disrespecting each other and stop making up bull in order to justify the use of a word. So that is number 2 for me. Even though I'm very passionate about it, I can't stand that god doggone word. And the last fist fight that I got into was because of a black man kept calling me that. I asked him not to call me that, and that joker decided he's gonna swing on me. All right, I whooped that tail. But the point is, I can't stand that word. Can't stand it. But we need to not stand it because it's a derogatory term. You don't see white people walking around, hey, what's up, cracker? Yeah, that's my cracker right there. You don't hear, people talking about, what's up, wop? That's my wop over there. You know, hey, what's up, wetback? I'm a wetback. You know, you don't hear that, but ooh, black people running around. It's ignorant. Ignorant. Now, the last thing, and number 1, and many of y'all don't gonna think that this should be number 1, but I don't care. It's my list. Number 1 is asking for reparations. That is why I said this is for black Americans. Stop asking for damn reparations. Do you think that if they didn't give it back to our forefathers who came out of slavery in 1864, if they didn't give it to them in 1864, 65, 67, 68, if it wasn't given to them then, if they then used the Freedmen Bank to take their money and give it to white people, if they didn't do it then, what makes you think you can get it now? You are so diluted in the population to even determine who should get it. But they're asking for reparation does a bigger disservice to black people, and I wish these politicians stopped doing it. Maxine Waters, I appreciate everything you've done, but stop with this reparation BS, because all you're doing is telling black people, walk up with your hand out. We deserve it. Give it to us. Please, please, oh white man, give us our reparations so that we can go and buy some more cars and houses and then lose all of it because we don't have any financial understanding or responsibilities because we haven't been taught economics. If we teach our people economics and we teach our people how to master the current flow of currency in this world right now, we understand economics, understand business, understand trade, understand credit. Let's just understand our credit. Get our credit right so we can buy the freaking houses that we live in instead of paying rent all the time. Now some people like me, I don't ever want to buy another house in America, so I pay rent, right? But I will buy land and have you renting it out. I'll do that. All right, I'll buy some tax properties and then wait that year in Georgia and then convert them over into title property under my name and then, well, in my trust, and then let you rent it from me and let you Airbnb. I'll do that. But we need to be teaching our people how to be self-sufficient. All of these things incorporate self-sufficiency. All of them. And that's so we first thing, stop begging for something that our forefathers could not get, did not get, and will never get. Stop begging. You coming up to the table of power begging for crumbs, instead of coming up to the table of power with your own damn chair, set it down at the table, put your own plate on the table, bring your own silverware, take your own food from the people who bring in your stuff, put it in your plate, and then look at everybody else and like, now what? Instead, we're not doing that. That's how we need to come to the table, not coming to the table. You know, y'all forefathers treated us so bad, and they treated my great grandmama so bad, and they didn't give us our 40 acres and a mule, and aggravated over the time of interest what that would equal into now. You need to give us X amount of dollars so that we can go and waste it in the economy that is not for us, instead of creating an economy that works within the current economy. An economy that says that we own our land, we own our schools, we own our business, we own the police, we own everything around us, and we're circulating that dollar 5, 10, 11, 12, 14 times before it leaves this community. And guess what? When it leaves, a portion of it, most of it, is going into a Caribbean nation that's being ran by black people that we're supporting, or an African nation that's been ran by black people that we support. I don't care about you. I'm indigenous this, I'm indigenous that. What I care about is where is the state of the world today. And the state of the world today is that we have a lot of knowledge and wisdom here in America, and a lot of ability to build business and build power. And we can use that power to help grow the power in the Caribbean, grow the power in Africa, so that on the world stage, black people aren't sitting at the kid seat. When they have the G6 and the G12s and all that, black people, black politicians, black world leaders are sitting at the kiddie table. They will continue to sit at the kiddie table until they unify, until they start having more financial imprint, a bigger financial imprint in the world, and a bigger military imprint in the world. When that happens, then they get a seat at the big boy table. 40 years ago, China wasn't at the big boy table. Now China's at the big boy table. Black people need to get to the big boy table. We get to the big boy table, we can affect changes. We affect changes in our community. We affect changes in the world stage. That's how we do it. So just a real quick blow through. Number 5, you ain't black if. Stop pulling that black card. Number 4, black people are crabs in a bucket. Stop thinking that way and support black business. Number 3, they ain't gonna let us. Stop letting this mystery in your mind stop you from being able to be the best version of yourself. Number 2, stop calling and disrespecting each other and calling ourselves niggas and bitches and hoes and all that kind of stuff, and deadbeat dads and all that. Stop being derogatory towards us. Stop using that N-word like that. And the biggest one for me is stop asking for reparations. Learn how to build, man. We got to build this thing together, and we can. We can. And we can. All right, but y'all, we got to stop and change our mindsets in order to do so. So I appreciate you guys. I know there's a ton more things that I could have talked about, a bunch of other mental and physical and financial issues that we struggle with that I could have talked about, but these right now in 2019 are my top 5, and I want to see us make a change, make a difference. So share this video. Let's talk about this. Tell me, let's talk about it in the comments, and I appreciate all you guys, and watch these other videos. And remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable.